example you gave, you're going for a program, somebody stopped you for directions.
Oh, Jayananda?
Perform miracles.
Jayananda, he's amazing. He'd be building a cart for Rath Yatra, and some guy be walking down in the street. Some guy living on the street. Hey, can you help us? He has good food here. Help us. And he would he was in another universe. He would. You know those kind of people that love everybody and everybody loves them, that they don't judge or discriminate? That's where he lived. And you can't be that way unless you're humble. So because he was so humble, you judge people when you think they're better. You don't judge people when you're on the bottom. If you're on the bottom, if you have this, and then when you come across this, you don't judge this, you say, I wish I had this. But if you're this, you look at this and go, ha 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 ha. I'm good, you're not. Isn't it? Look at you. You're just a little Sony. Look at you. You're a little Sony. I'm a Zoom H4. Look I can put XLR right into here and record. All you have is a little stupid microphone. And I have 2 microphones. And you're like, oh my God, you have 1, 2. I only have 1. And those look better. And you have a bigger screen than I have. Oh, you're so much better. I love you. So I'd like to be like you. Of course, you could be envious. But in this example, right? So this was Jayananda. And this was everybody else for Jayananda. Oh, you're such a great devotee. So look at you have 2. I only have 1. In the meantime, it turns out this one sounds way better than this one. This was Jayananda. He's doing much more service than all the big devotees, but he looks like the little devotee. That was Jayananda. And so because he was humble like this, everybody liked him. This is a little more intimidating. Looks like I could zap you, right? This one was like... This looks like, a razor blade. When you finish it, you throw it away. Doesn't look like much. Right? So, if you're judging, it's a lack of humility. That's the idea. Jayananda didn't have that, so he was...
So would Jayananda Prabhu sacrifice maybe going to programs or getting so-called nectar for building relationships with people who are...
I don't think he was necessarily conscious. Yeah. He gave himself to other people. That's just what he was. One time, I think he was preparing for Rath Yatra. I lived in the temple in San Francisco in 1970 when he was preparing for Rath Yatra, so I saw his schedule. His schedule was, he got up at 4 o'clock, took a shower, got dressed, and went out to the site and started working on the cart. They had prasadam out there. He came home at 10 o'clock and began chanting his rounds, and he went to bed at midnight. That was his schedule every day for 2 weeks, because it took 2 weeks to build the cart. And then Prabhupada came, so, where's Jayananda? So they get Jayananda, and so Jayananda comes in. And he's working so hard and sleeping so little. As soon as he sits down, ek, do, tin, uno, dos, tres, whatever. 1, 2, 3. So naturally, if someone's falling asleep in front of Prabhupada, you want to wake them up because it's disrespectful. And Prabhupada saw they were waking him up, and Prabhupada said, don't bother him. He works harder than all of you. Just let him sleep. So Prabhupada understood who Jayananda was. And when Jayananda joined, he had a savings of $5,000. And he gave that money to print the TLC. So Prabhupada said, you were the first book distributor. because you gave $5,000 to publish TLC. And that was all his money. It was everything. So Prabhupada really appreciated it. So that was Jayananda. And he used to be a taxi cab driver, and when I was in San Francisco, he drove the bus out. The van, he drove the van. And then we had a Harinam party. It was about 20 of us or 25. And the way we would do it is we would chant, and then every once in a while, one person would go out to distribute magazines. And then the person who was distributing magazines would come back in the Harinam party. And in those days, distributing a magazine was like, it took you about 100 people before someone would actually take a magazine. So you could easily spend like 2 or 3 hours and distribute 2 or 3 magazines. So it really wasn't, we didn't know how to do it. It wasn't really pleasant. So when that book distributor would come and tap you on the shoulder and say, it's your turn, you didn't really want to do it. You just wanted to stay in the Harinam. That was like the safe, blissful place. He distributed magazines the whole time. We were out there from, I think, 11 till 6. The whole 7 hours, he just distributed magazines. That was his nature. And he was just happy doing it. So he had no false ego and no judgment. There was nothing, what you see was what you get, and everybody loved him. When you're false, people don't like you because you're pretentious. When you're real, people like you. He was as real as it gets. And he didn't walk around with his head down, oh, I'm so fallen, I'm so low. He was just real. He was always concerned about others. Did you get enough prasadam? That's what he was like. He wasn't trying to, you know how sometimes we show off that we're humble? Even the psychologists say that if you can't achieve something significant, then you'll try to fail because you'll get the significance for being the worst. We say that sometimes as a joke, but it's actually true. This is a study of human psychology. Some people will fail to get recognition because they can't win, so they'll come in last place. So he wasn't like that. He didn't try to show that he was fallen. He just, how should I say, the best way I could describe it is that he didn't have the air that he was the older, senior person. That wasn't his mood. His mood was like father, like older brother. Not father, older brother. His mood was like older brother. You felt like, here's your older brother that loves you, will take care of you. He's not trying to exploit you. He's not trying to show off. And when you advance, he says, wow, you're making so much advancement, you're better than I am. And he would say it genuinely. That's just how he felt. So it was amazing to see that. It's like one devotee was saying, you read in the books that this is what humility is. Or you read in the books, this is what purity is. Or you read in the books, this is what tolerance is. And then you finally see somebody who has it. Finally, wow, we actually saw it in Jayananda. This is humility, this is tolerance. It wasn't just in a book. Hare Krishna. Okay, we're going to end. It's officially 8 o'clock. We went an hour and a half. So tomorrow I'll come around the same time. And we'll talk more on this topic of integrity. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.